Hello, I'm Marcus V. Calvert, and welcome to Tales Unlimited. Today's battery prompt is number 96. Corporate spies are after your prototype phone, which has an awesome crime-fighting app. I've had this idea in my head for years. I called it Super App, and I guess I just threw it in as a prompt. Forgot about it. Okay, so this guy basically used to make gadgets for hero teams, and he did it out of, civic pride, blah, blah, blah. Then he, I guess, yeah, divorce. His wife took him in a divorce because she thought he was like a schmuck, and she took him for everything. And ironically, after he paid off the alimony, the child support, and everything like that, he broke off with his special gadgetry, top high end stuff that even the heroes like, whoa. And it's not so much like these were dangerous weapons or anything like that, just like useful stuff. And he basically gave the heroes first crack. And a lot of the hero teams were like, oh, they're broke. I mean, he was doing a lot of this stuff almost pro bono or on the cheap. He's like, okay, well, not you guys, governments. And government's like, no. He's like, okay, well, he's having a hard time selling it. And it takes him a moment to realize someone's blocking his sales. And then his company comes along and says, hey, we'll buy it from you for a very generous price. And you're like, check your background, your bona fides. Super villains. You're super villains. Da, da, da. Well, then that's when corporate spies start showing up, going through his trash, going through his workshops. His building got hit, and they made off with his servers and all this stuff, and all they found was orc porn. Turns out that he kept nothing in his little business building. He rented out some floors. He kept nothing there. Everything was in his basement. Like he would stay in his office for like all day, like 10, 12-hour shifts. Everybody be working. Everything's connected to a server that was off-site. And everyone thought the server was like in that corner over there. Nothing but orc porn. And if you breach it, nothing but orc porn. And when they breached, it also hit them with so much malware, it basically lit up all their systems and basically stole all their money and then donated to X number of charities because he assumed they would kill him first, but alas. So now he's racing home because he pissed him off, and there are literally SUVs, black SUVs full of guys with machine guns shooting at him, and he literally crashes through his rear patio, gets out, runs into his basement, and he tears open like the fuse box, and he pulls his server, which is a phone, just a phone. Super app, engage. And he throws it off, and before it hits the ground, it sprouts arms, a head, a cape, little legs. Beware the super app, and the phone shapes into something cooler, almost like a tiny action figure. And the first guys who make it down the stairs are just starting to throw like stun grenades. The phone goes flying at them. Here's his logic. Okay, no one can buy my stuff. Okay, fine. I'm going to make my own hero teams in the form of phones, and I'm going to unleash them to basically fight crime as a form of maybe a prototype device. And he literally has them scattered across the world, and he put them in like factories and warehouses. And so basically, if a phone, it might be like, for example, a Samsung, and it looks like a Samsung, it works like a Samsung, and someday it might end up in a landfill. But if it's near any type of superhuman crime, super app will kick in. It shapeshifts, transforms, flies off, fights crime. Might only work once. Might come back to him for instructions like, okay, that was fun. Where else should I go, sir? And he gives instructions. And the bad guys, all their money goes away. And it goes to charity. He doesn't keep a dime. And he was trying to sell it because he was a good man. But he puts it out there and simply says, activate the others. Go now. And he throws it out of a window. And then he gets shot. He could have saved himself, or he could have saved the phone, and he decided to save his dream. And when that happens, all of the hero apps trigger, and you have this. He managed to mass produce in third party shops that had no idea what they were making. They mass produced his phones, and they sent them off to other factories as blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I don't know how I tell this story better, but thousands of these things are flying around fighting evil alongside superheroes, sometimes helping them, sometimes there instead of heroes, and the heroes feel bad because they didn't pay the man his due, and he has a statue. The end. Super app. How would you do it? A crime fighting app. I mean, I think I already did a villain app. But I mean, maybe it's more like, okay, you press an app and there's this company that supplies whatever you need, gadgets, minion training, I'm not sorry, sidekick training, um, connections and resources and networking with other hero teams will move and relocate you, protect your secret identity. Might be apps for that sort of thing. Like you're actually trying to talk your way into getting this service, but you have to earn that respect and trust. All right, I'm Marcus V. Calvert. This is Tales Unlimited. Please check out talesunlimited.net. That's where the podcasts are. Two of them. There's the Batchery Daily Prompt and a Disturbing Thought of the Day. And this is one of the last ones I'm going to do for either one. After the 100th of these podcasts for both of them, I'm going to start something new. Haven't given it a name yet, but next week I shall begin it. Also, talesunlimited.net has links to books that are on Amazon. Follow the links. You go there and you can check them out. They're available in print ebook form. What are these books about? Well, there's the Batchery series, which has 200 writing prompts and some wisdom on how to write that first novel for anyone who might have lost years of their lives trying to write that first great novel. Write with a system. That's my advice. And Batchery has it. It has that system. It's simple, it's challenging, but if you do it, follow it all the way through, you'll have books to sell, a chance to build your business, make a fan base going, make some money, all while you're working on your first novel. There's also story fuel because these are 200 unusual writing prompts, like this one. They're good for evil GMs, game designers, short story writers, comic book writers, screenwriters, and of course, novelists. You might be a veteran novelist who doesn't need a system. Well, maybe you have your own system, but hey, 200 unusual writing prompts. Take one, spin it. Who knows what you might end up with? Also, let's see. There are 2 anthology series. Think New School Twilight Zone. 25 stories in each book. So unheroics about unlikely heroes saving the day. Like, what if in the future Earth gets sucked into a black hole that was artificially made, and the surviving human race come together and form basically a mix of an interstellar mob or a gang or a nation and a tribe. They kind of just come together and simply say, look, we're going to get rid of all of our little petty differences, religion, ethnicity, whatever. We're going to look for some place to settle in. We're not going to do. We're going to learn from the mistakes of our past. But here's the thing: we will never, ever have this happen to us again. We will never be like victimized. We may not be the first race, but we'll damn sure be the last one. So they find these aliens and they're cool about it. But at the end of the day, you mess with a human, blood, bodies, mayhem. They are dark with how they handle their peoples. Like, don't mess with any of us, and we will be very kind and benign to you. They don't even have a new home world. They just live everywhere and pay rent. It's kind of weird. And then there's the other series, the Book of Schemes. It's about schemes, twisted, diabolical, goofy. Okay, one of my few pieces of fiction. What if this kid, the jock, falls in love with the goth chick, and one night the goth chick gets hit by a hit and run driver, and the driver gets away, no clues, she dies in a ditch, and he's at her wake when he gets a clue. It's a very serious clue, so much so that someone puts a 357 in his face and says, give me the clue. And he's like, no, because he's that much in love. And then there is iVillain novel series. Think Sin City with superpowers. It's about a fictional city called Pillar City, superhuman crime capital of the world. It's about a year after this massive massacre of the superhero population of the world. It's called Clean Sweep. So superheroes are almost extinct. And one of the people who helped is a guy named Benjamin Clyde, gentleman fixer, dude in a suit. Pay him enough money, he'll work any side of the law. He has hundreds of mercs, experts, supervillains, bit of both, and they do whatever's required. No questions asked, because the money's too good. And then one night, he's forced to give it all up. No more minions, no more money. He can never be a crook again. He has to fire everybody. And they make him fight crime in the superhuman crime capital of the world. His life expectancy is a joke, except he doesn't die. He thrives. Why? Because of his Black Ops past and the fact that he had powers he told no one about. So this guy with a burger gut and high cholesterol ends up fighting crime, saving the world, then turning it into a business, this world saving thing. He doesn't worry about banks and drug dealers in the corners. No, no, no. He's about, I'm going to save the world from people trying to change the global order. Why? Because they have money. So kill them and take their stuff. That's my business model. Okay, I'm Marcus V. Calvin. This is Tales Unlimited. See you tomorrow.